So some of her stipulations were she wanted to keep as much of the original material as possible and keep the house as original as we could. So after starting on the outside, doing some of the cornice work to get things kind of buttoned back up. When we started there, all the cornices, they had ripped all the wood off and put plywood up, so we ripped all those back down, and out of cypress and cedar, reproduced those. I think Gene made a few of the big corbels that were missing. So then basically we came up with a plan to start on the second floor and work our way forward, starting in the master bath and the master bedrooms. And we really lucked out with this house, even though it had been left go for so many years. So much of the original material was still there, so it was almost better than someone coming in and remodeling it, So we kind of lucked out. This was the master bath.
Oh, is that?
Yep.
Is that okay? Oh.
We're having all sorts of technical difficulties.
No, that's not doing it either.
If you just right click up on the slide, see what happens there. I'm not sure. It's good. Let me just try.
Okay. So anyway, we started with the bathroom. This incidentally was okay. There we go. We left all the wainscoting. That was all in good shape. We had to repair a few pieces. The only wall in the house that we ended up slightly moving. Okay, there we go. Was where the shower pump out was. That was the only partition in the entire house that we kind of moved a little bit. We kind of had to do that. We left the tub there. We left everything in place. One of the neat things about this house, it had a 3-story outhouse off the back, which I've never seen before. Pretty interesting. So we ended up off the second 3 stories. I have a picture. The last slide is a picture from the outside. You can get a better view of it. But off the second floor, they actually had from the inside of the house where you walked out, so we decided to put the toilet out there. Kind of made it nice. There was talk about maybe putting the wooden plank back on and making like an actual outhouse, but we kind of decided that probably wasn't a good idea for, I guess, sanitary reasons. So,
could you explain how that works?
You
go up to the 3rd story in the outhouse, and then when you let loose, it goes all the way to the ground? Or?
When we started there were still the plaster, all the ghost lines were there for the seat. In fact, some of the chunks of wood were still toenailed in. They had a seat and then a slanted board in front where your legs would go. And then we could just find little tacks around in tin. So I'm assuming they made tin funnels to go from one story to the next. I'm assuming that's what it was, because you could see the whole inside underneath where the seat was. Little tin nails and little bits of tin. So that's what I'm assuming.
Is there stairs in there too? How do you get up to it's connected to the house?
This comes out through the house. The one on the second floor, it's a daylight basement in the back, so it's actually the first floor coming out. You'll see better in the last slide. That comes off the back porch, and then the one in the basement comes off the patio. So yeah, I thought that was. I'm sure in the 1860s that was probably state of the art. There's another view of the shower, and then we did a I forget what we call this, the small hex tiles we did in there. And as far as like the finishes, the paint colors, the floor coverings, the wallpapers, Jean Fisher really picked all that out herself. So when we go through these rooms here, you see some of the colors and everything. She did everything herself, and I was pretty impressed. We had a couple people comment about who was the designer. And really it was her. She did a lot of research online, a lot of research in magazines, and the whole restoration took it was about a 4-year period, so we had a lot of time to kind of really think about things. This is the master bedroom. We're working forward. This is still the older part of the house, and the best I could tell, the rear part of the house was probably late 1860s, maybe, based on the trim, the construction techniques, the windows, that sort of thing. And then the front part was maybe 1880s. So that's another interesting thing. I think the original, there were some stove holes here and there, no open fireplaces, but each of the main 4 rooms in the back part of the house had these, I guess it was an original hot air system, I'm assuming, probably coal-fired or something like that. They just had these metal grates in it. So all the wallpapers came from a company in California. I don't think they're in business anymore. I think it was Carter Company was the name. They were all hand-printed wallpapers. They were really, really nice.
Were you able to save any of the wallpaper?
No, there were fragments here and there, and wherever we found any, we saved pieces of them, and she kept everything that we found in the house. So yeah, we did save them, but there was nothing that was even close to being salvageable. So, and then the back part of the house, a lot of the flooring was in really bad shape. So back there, we decided to, as opposed to going out and getting antique wood, which would have been, fairly expensive for that much wood, we decided to paint the floors. So we basically went through and milled flooring, and I brought some molding samples and some other things, but we did mill the flooring out of white pine to match what was originally there. We tongue grooved it and matched the sizes and everything. So even though we were painting it, we tried to keep it as much keep it as original as possible. Now this is the next room. They had the wallpaper. She kept the same wallpaper, just different background colors. And there again, all the trim was in really good shape. The window sash were in great shape. There was a lot of repairs, pulling things back together. But overall, the house was in really, the structure of it was in really good shape. Now this door leads into the newer part of the house, the 1880s, I'm guessing. Now these are the front rooms. When we started this, there was an original arched opening that went between this room and a smaller, what became a bathroom. So you'll see in the next slide, we actually used that as another walk-in shower, but we didn't want to lose the fact that there was an arch there originally. We kind of wanted to keep that architectural detail. So she came up with the idea of putting a mirror there, and then Jean made the trim to surround that mirror, and it matched the archway that was there. The archway is still there. It's framed in, but it's all still there. And then the one neat thing I liked about this place, she let us do the floors in the front part of the house just natural. And I wish more people would do that, because I think it's such a neat look. So we had a lot of flooring repairs, and we used salvaged white pine, because that's what the original floors were. And then just cleaned them, really. There was maybe some light sanding on some of them with just a palm sander, nothing more, to get some bad spots out. But another thing we did when we started there, they had hot water baseboard through the whole house, and of course she didn't like that, which I didn't either. Covered up all the baseboards and everything, so we tore that all out and reused the same hot water system, and then just used salvaged radiators. Now they're not exactly the style of that house, but I'm sure to buy 25 radiators that were ornate would have been